I accepted Islam when I was 24 years old.
MashaAllah. That was about 6 years ago.
I wish. Then I would have, inshallah, I'd have more time to serve Allah more vigorously.
Inshallah.
And at the time that I did it, I really was looking, not so much what it is to me. What is Islam? What is Islam to me? I was looking to be in the company of some decent people. I had been in the military, I had served in the Vietnam War, and I had accumulated some very, very bad habits. And I was looking to be around people who would not feed these habits, all right? The alcohol, the cigarettes, the other things that went along with that lifestyle. And the only people I found who were away from that were the Muslims. I went to many different denominations of Christian churches. Now, I was okay. I was around decent people. I wasn't looking for God. I wasn't, I always believe, I believe in God. I always believed I had the right understanding, the right, God was the one that made it rain. But then what happened was, I read the Quran. I read this book, the Quran. I read the Tafsir of Quran by Abdullah Yusuf Ali. And up to the time that I had read it, I had a very bad relationship with my mother, my father, my wife's mother, my wife's father. Very bad relationship with people around me. I was a very aggressive person, extremely aggressive. Okay? And after I read the Quran and it started explaining the behavior of Muslims, the Quran gave a complete concept of life. And this is all from that one creator we were talking about earlier. And the things, just one example. When Allah says to those people who are reading Quran and whom He allows to understand it, okay, to honor your parents, to honor your mother and your father. And of course I'm paraphrasing, I'm not giving you the exact wording, but he makes it specific, quite clear, that even if you're a Muslim and you have parents that are not, you have no way to be not good to them. And you have no way to be, as we say, fresh or very insulting to them. And as soon as I read that, it broke me up. It affected me deeply because I had been very bad to as soon as I read it, I immediately went and I bought flowers for my mother. Okay, and I bought flowers for my father. Immediately. And I took them to him. And they looked at me like, oh, what's he up to now? What's he doing? Because I had been, like I said, I've been very bad to my parents.
It looks strange.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm giving them flowers. And the next day I went out and I bought them some gifts. And I continued with it. And after a while...
And you're not Muslim at that moment?
No, I was Muslim.
You was a Muslim. You were a Muslim.
But I was new. I was new to Islam.
Alhamdulillah.
And what happened was my relationship with my parents became, especially my mother, became very, very good. And with my wife's parents, it was the same, pretty much the same. But one thing that happened, see, my wife's mother, when she was 82 years old, she took Shahada.
Allahu Akbar.
All right? And she passed away about 4 or 5 years later, after taking her Shahada.
Alhamdulillah. And
within that context, the family had no real obligations to it. You see, Islam brought the family together, and when they saw us, there's so much in this book, like things that I saw when I was in Vietnam. As I mentioned, the way that warfare was conducted there. All right, Allah says this is a sin. Some of the things that were going on. It gives you a societal structure. Islam gives you a societal structure. Islam gives you a family structure. It gives you a social structure. And those structures are all protective. Like one of the big things going on in the U.S. today is about a movie producer by the name of Harvey Weinstein and the things that he did to women who he was in the company of. I'm not going to talk about it, but Islam protects you from those things. You're protected from those things. You're protected from bad food, okay? You're protected from bad ideas. Allah says if someone is talking foolishness or things that have no value to them, okay, paraphrasing again, okay, leave them until they finish, until they stop. Don't stay and listen to it. I remember one of the conversations we used to have all the time was, what was the best alcohol to drink? What was the best gun to shoot? What was the best woman to chase? What was the best car to drive? Things that have no real value when you die. Because that's what Islam does. Islam prepares you for death. It prepares you for a life that's permanent. The one that comes after this is the permanent life. And Islam is telling you, look, do good in this life. And there's nothing wrong with doing good. There's nothing wrong with it. If you do good, then you don't hate other people because of their color. You don't look at someone and say, oh, I'm superior to that person for this reason or that reason. You don't look at other people because of their wealth or their education. You don't look at them because of what they possess. Or you look, as Brother Jamal was saying in the Bible when he was quoting one of the 10 Commandments, which is essentially one of the what was mentioning. You don't covet your neighbor's goods. All right? I was raised on the 10 Commandments, but I didn't see anyone within a society living within that framework. Okay, but when I started traveling around the Muslims, I found so many people living within the framework of what Allah has given us. Okay, and I could go on, but I know our time is limited.
Because we have 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I think we have to go to Brother Jamal.
The brother already hit on a lot of the social aspects of what attracted him to Islam, and may Allah bless you for sharing that with us. For me, Islam, I come from a language background, and so when I saw the word Islam, I wanted to know, what does Islam mean? And so when I tore apart the Arabic roots on that, and I seen that it came from silm, the Arabic word silm, which means submission, and the word salam, peace. Peace came by submission to the one true God. And it's interesting because of all of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, human beings are the only ones that have free will. Like, I can choose to be a Muslim or I can choose not to be a Muslim. Even though this contract was made between me and the creator of the heavens and the earth, I can choose one day not to follow it. And it's interesting because when I came into Islam, I was amazed because I went to the text of the Quran and the text of the Hadith, and I found, as the brother said, a complete way of life. A complete way to go ahead and lead your life and to submit to the creator of the heavens and the earth and to be blessed in more ways than what you could even imagine. And as you went along this path, you start to change the more you interact with the book, which is interesting. And sometimes I had to pull myself away from actually watching the actions of Muslims, which was kind of strange for me, because usually if you want to see like Christianity, you go follow the Christians. You want to see Judaism, follow the Jews. But with Islam, it teaches you not to follow the people, but to follow the teachings of the Prophet, peace be upon him, which is inside of the Quran and in the Hadith. And when you follow this, you'll see some Muslims do things that are contrary to that. Okay? So when you go back to this, it's actually, especially new Muslims in that, it actually helps to reaffirm their faith when they actually sit there and they actually start studying the text. That there is a true way, and this is that submission to the Creator with Islam. And so for me, Islam is a whole complete way of life here in this earth for the short period of time that we're here, all the way until, like the brother said, our next life, which will go on forever. So,
and that's what makes Islam